And rocking and rolling.
There we go.
Peter, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks
You're
for coming.
welcome.
We appreciate it. How's your off season in Edmonton treating you so far?
It's been pretty eventful so far, man. It's been cold. It's been cold. I've been doing a lot of stand up. Got done with training today around like 3:30, so got back into that. So
Nice.
it's been eventful. It's been fun, and
Nice.
I'm
Good times.
excited for the rest of it, man.
So you're sold on Edmonton, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cold as shit. I hate the cold, man.
Oh,
I've never experienced minus 30, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
So I was born in Ontario and I
Okay.
grew up in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the coldest it'll get in Michigan, there was like a polar vortex last year,
Yeah.
and the coldest it got was like, it's probably minus 20, minus
Oh
25.
damn.
Okay.
What city are you from again?
I was born in a town called Cobourg, Ontario.
Okay.
It's like an old retirement home
Yeah.
place on
Alright.
the North Shore of Lake Ontario. But I grew up in a town called Howell, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like an hour west of Detroit.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Cool. So like, fairly small town kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I think it was like 10,000 like in the town, and
Yeah.
the rural area probably around like 30 to 40. So yeah, pretty
Gotcha.
small town.
Okay. Cool.
I'd say
cool.
around Camrose size.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
good stuff. Don't you got? I guess would you be far enough from the lake that you don't get like the humid cold there, or?
No, it's a wet cold for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Okay.
And we probably get more snow than Edmonton, to be honest.
Right.
Just because of the lake effect and stuff. But no, not
Mhm,
not
yeah.
nearly as bitterly cold.
Did you see that shit out in Newfoundland? How they're like buried under 8 feet of snow or
I
whatever?
heard it was like 93 centimeters,
That's-
or
Bonkers, man.
it's either that or 193. I'm not good with centimeters. Yeah, so.
Neither am I, honestly. We're such a weird mix of imperial and metric that we use it very selectively as Canadians.
How many yards was it?
Shoot. Like 2.5 maybe.
There you go.
How come you decided to stick around after the season was over?
Honestly, it was because of the comedy scene.
Yeah.
So I started stand up when I was in university.
Okay, cool.
In a town called Grand Rapids in West
Yeah,
Michigan.
yeah.
Cool.
That we
and-
have heard of, actually.
Yep. So
Yeah.
it was decent there. It was just a city of 200,000, so there wasn't a ton of mics and the talent.
Okay. Yeah.
I really like the community here, and I think there's
Cool.
a ton of talent and there's a ton of mics, and I don't know, I like being a CFL player and being a comic.
Yeah.
Whenever I introduce that, especially if it's like midway or at the end of the set, it surprises a lot So
Yeah. For sure.
I'm really enjoying like the mix and the off season,
Sweet.
and I enjoy Canada a lot. I'm technically Canadian. I got dual
Right.
citizenship.
There you go.
I'm pretty fake. I'm pretty fake Canadian, but I feel like if I can do a winter in Edmonton, that'll up my Canada cred. So
Yeah, you'll get some stripes for that for sure.
Boost the stats.
yeah,
Awesome.
exactly.
Cool. Yeah, that's I mean, that's what people say about Edmonton's comedy scene. Is it? I mean, in theory, any larger city would just have more clubs and bars and stuff. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
supposedly Edmonton's is good.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it, and it's kind of isolated. Like Edmonton's its own thing, you know, because I mean the closest city is Calgary, like 3 hours
Right.
south. But besides that, there's
Yeah.
really fuck all else, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't
So-
have the metropolis areas like most of the states, right?
Yeah,
So,
so I don't know. It's kind of got its own little brand, and
interesting.
yeah, I just think right now it's kind of like my best avenue to get things going in
Awesome.
terms of that.
Good
so.
stuff. I'm always curious when I meet people who started stand up at like a relatively young age, like you said university. Like
Yeah.
what prompted that, I guess? Like what?
So I don't know. I was really into like political satire at the time, so I was
Okay.
a big Jon Stewart fan,
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah.
Daily Show, and I don't know. I thought myself like pretty funny, so I was like, fuck. I feel like
Nice.
I could make some people laugh.
Cool.
I kind of started like I actually looked back and at jokes that I wrote in university, right? And it was like a lot of get laid type of jokes, like overly like politicized, like liberal shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really focusing on being funny at that point. So it's funny to look back at it and see how much I've improved.
Yeah,
And
for
my time in Edmonton has showed like you got to come with the punchlines if you want to be good.
Yeah.
So
So you would have started at 19 then? 20?
I started at 21.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Shit.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So I crammed 4 years of college into 6. So yeah.
I have a buddy that did that as well.
Yeah.
I think it was 7 though.
Yeah. So I transferred. I started at the U.S. Air Force Academy.
Right.
Played football, and then I got kicked out of there. So I transferred to Grand Valley State as a D2 school in Michigan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You weren't cut out
Right,
for
right.
the military school life, or
No, I guess I just didn't have the integrity, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I have a lot of good friends that ended up graduating, becoming pilots and shit. And in hindsight, I shouldn't have gone there in the first place, but I made the decision with good intention. So I don't really kick myself too bad for that. But like, I don't know. I'm not mad that I went there, but it was definitely a lesson learned.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
because you're 94, I want to say.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Good stuff. Nice.
Yeah. 25.
25. When did you get drafted?
I got drafted in May.
Okay, so
Yep.
just this
This
season.
was your first
May
season, right?
2019. Yep.
Nice, man.
How does the CFL draft work? Like,
So you
because it's
Totally
it's
unfamiliar.
not exactly on TV
Yeah,
or anything. No
true.
offense.
No, yeah.
I just have no idea.
Yeah,
right?
no worries, man. It's definitely like the B league of football.
Yeah, it is what it is, right?
No, so you kind of have to you have to be Canadian to be drafted.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. So there's actually a good amount of Americans that find out they have Canadian citizenship and then end up getting drafted pretty high. So
Huh.
I always
Really?
knew that I had Canadian citizenship. It was just something that I kind of decided to pursue later in my career.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was planning on staying in Michigan, and I was with a girl, and then that didn't happen. So I was like, "Fuck, what do I actually want to do with my life?" So I
Yeah.
was like, "You know what? I'm gonna try this football thing out." And
Awesome.
definitely excited. I probably wouldn't be up here if that
Otherwise.
wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have been in Edmonton. Maybe I would have found a way up to Canada, but yeah. So,
Right. Because there's imports as well. Like obviously, lots of Americans play in the CFL.
Yeah, it's pretty much like half American, half Canadian.
Okay. Yeah.
So, the more, for lack of a better term, important positions are usually filled by Americans. And then, like a lot of special teams positions and, like interior line. So like guard, center,
Right.
interior D line, fullbacks. Those are all Canadian positions. So
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Cool.
And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, too.
He played?
I think so.
He was
I know
No, he was
Roman Reigns did.
I know that. I'm pretty sure.
no.
he
The
did.
Rock was drafted to or like tried out or something with the BC Lions.
That's it.
and then
yeah.
he got
Gotcha.
cut.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I
that's
know
it.
that Roman Reigns played for the Esks.
Who's that? I don't know.
He's a professional wrestler.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
He actually
Yeah.
went to one of the games, and
Yeah.
it was kind of cool seeing him. So
Nice. Good
Cool.
stuff. Awesome. So, yeah, I guess, and then what? So they just like sign the American players? I
yeah,
guess, or-
pretty
okay,
much.
gotcha.
I mean, you can sign Canadian players. It's just it's a lot harder because Americans are competing against American spots where Canadians are competing against pretty much all the spots. So
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Canadian
okay,
spots,
gotcha,
which
yeah.
the level of competition is like different. Just because football is a fucking religion in the States, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
So
Here it's kind of like
it's
third
there.
string.
Yeah. It's like something to do when it's nice out, I guess,
Yeah.
right? So you know,
Exactly.
yeah.
All the football players play hockey too, or
yeah,
Vice versa. Yeah.
man, I gotta learn how to skate.
Yeah.
I've never skated. I'm
Really?
the worst Canadian ever, man.
Oh, damn.
even Michigan too is. kind
Yeah,
of
I
Yeah, I
know.
feel like
There's
that's kind of
there's
a hockey
no
place.
there's no excuse for me not to
Yeah.
know how to skate, but I don't know. I just always did basketball in the winter time and wasn't too concerned with
Fair enough.
with hockey.
Yeah.
So
What position are you?
fullback.
Fullback. Okay.
No.
That's a defensive position.
No,
right?
that's offensive.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Man, do your fucking research, man.
I did look at it.
as I knock the camera
Yeah,
off.
as you fucking destroy our studio with Josh. No, I did look it up, but then I was like something back, and I don't know the football positions
Yeah, no.
well enough.
No,
So
honest to
Yeah,
God.
I get the gist of it. I know the rules, but like each, because there's so many different names, right?
Yeah.
So
So whenever like I'm talking with a girl at the bar and stuff, when it gets brought up that I play for the Eskimos, they're always like, "I'm sorry, I don't know much about football." I'm like, "You don't." That's perfectly fair. Like it's an incredibly violent sport.
yeah,
That's like kind of the gist of it.
yeah. Well, and conversely, in hockey, you have forward, defense, goalie.
Yeah.
That's easier for us to keep track of, I guess, right? So,
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot less people on the playing surface, I guess.
yeah, definitely. Oh, good stuff. Awesome. So, was it? Would you ever like play Canadian teams or anything growing up? Like, was it weird coming here and the ball's a different size and all that
Yeah,
shit? Or?
yeah, never played a Canadian team,
Mhm.
never played Canadian rules football, never
Yeah.
played catch with a Canadian football. So yeah, no, it was all
It
new
was
to me,
all
man.
weird.
Never played with 3 downs.
Yeah. Hey?
Didn't know what a waggle was. Yeah, I was totally new to the whole thing, man.
I don't know what a waggle is. So.
It's so in American football you can have one person in motion,
'Kay.
where in Canadian football you can have multiple people in motion and they can motion towards the line of scrimmage.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. now.
Yep.
Right.
So it's like a running start
Mhm.
for the play.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that weird? Were you like, what the fuck is this game these guys are playing, or what?
Yeah, so I kind of had a longer time to adjust because I pulled my hamstring in the draft. So
Oh, damn.
I thought my career was done at that point, right? And luckily I got drafted by the Esks, and then I re-pulled it in training camp. So I was like,
Oh, damn.
all right, this might be it. And then they kept me on.
Mhm.
I went on the 6-game IR, which is the injury reserve list. So
Mhm.
had 6 games to get better, and then my first game was in Calgary. Played 5 special teams, and we punted like 9 times in the first half. So it was just change of possession city. And I've like from the start, I was gassed.
Yeah.
I was out of breath from the very first play to the
Yeah.
end of the game, man. And like midway through the third quarter, like my whole left side was cramping, and it
Oh,
was
damn.
just incredibly uncomfortable and
Yeah.
unfortunate. And I just felt like a complete bitch like the whole second half. Got through it, and then
Yeah.
the other games were fine, never
Oh, yeah.
cramped. But yeah, that was the big kind of learning process or learning curve, was just how much running was involved.
Right.
Because
Right.
I weighed like 260 in college. I was like on the line kind of blocker, so I was
'Kay.
blocking a lot of big like defensive ends. That was
Right,
my
right.
role.
Mhm.
Where in the CFL, a fullback has to play special teams, so
Gotcha.
you have to do a lot of running,
Mhm.
open field tackling, blocking, and I just wasn't used to that. So I've dropped like 20 pounds, feel a lot better and more
Good for you.
athletic. So I guess I prefer the Canadian rules just because I don't have to be as big and violent all the time at the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. But you still like you feel because the goal was when they concocted the CFL was to make it more like interesting or more like a wide open game sort of thing. Right?
Yeah, I don't really know. I think it evolved from rugby, like the American game. I just think it took its Canadian
Yeah.
path.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And
for sure.
like for some reason, any time in the game you can kick the ball, and if
Just go
whoever's
for it.
yeah, and whoever's behind the ball can recover it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if the other team recover it, it's their ball. So
Yeah.
actually at halftime, it was the last play last season. One of our receivers, Greg Ellingson, just caught a pass. He was on the 40-yard line and just punted it as far as he could, just because it was like a Hail Mary type of situation.
Mhm.
So I never saw that shit before. That
Yeah.
kind of blew my mind. But
Didn't know what to do.
yeah, so there's definitely a lot of differences, but I enjoy it so
Yeah.
far.
The dudes in the NFL are bigger. Is it just me or?
They are.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like, you just don't see fucking 20-inch biceps in the CFL that much.
Yeah, actually, the biggest person I've ever seen on a football field is on my team, though.
Oh, really?
It's our right tackle. His name's Matt O'Donnell. He's 6'11", like 340.
What?
Dude is a giant.
Damn.
It's not even human anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And the crazy thing is, he's played like 10 years without an injury. This was like his first
Wow.
year with an injury,
Wow.
which I don't even know how that's anatomically possible to be that long and so much area to get
Yeah, yeah.
injured yet
Mhm.
stay healthy. He had like tryouts with the Raps and like Celtics or something. So,
Oh, really?
Really
just 'cause
cool.
he's so giant.
Damn.
But, yeah. So to answer your question, NFL is bigger, but the biggest person has been in the CFL.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And he carried the ball, so he recovered a fumble, and his like 6'11" frame was just toting the rock.
Big stride. Yeah.
So I think he's like the biggest person to ever carry a football too. So
Man, that's a fucking train.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna stand that guy's way.
Yeah.
like I couldn't even imagine getting pancaked by him, man. It's just, yo, that's so
you
much.
couldn't, and now I couldn't, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You got about 60 pounds on me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a battlefield out there. I don't like to equate it to war, but I feel like it's kind of
Probably
like the next
in the neighborhood, in the
It's
ballpark.
the next one down. I was actually last night. I was talking to a guy that was in the Canadian Army and
Oh, yeah.
served in Afghanistan, and I told him about my barely any military service.
Right.
Like I was like, "Yo, not to say we're on the same plane, but like I wore the uniform kind of one time."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, like football and military, kind of the same thing, like with the brotherhood aspect." And I was like, "I feel you, man, but I don't want to compare like what I do to what you did. That's way more badass." Like, but
Very, very true.
So when you go to one of the military colleges, like they have you like marching in formation and stuff, or
yeah. So once you get like recruited for football, like pretty much any university you go in June and you play football, you work out, you have a good time. But if you go to like a military institution or academy, then you
Right.
have to go into boot camp. So I had like a 6-week boot camp, and
makes sense.
our like time off was playing football, and that was
Oh
only
shit,
like
really? Hey.
once a day in the second half of it for like an hour and a half a day.
Damn.
So all the other times training and a bunch of bullshit. And did like
Wow.
and then once you your freshman year is pretty much very difficult, like pretty, for lack of a better term, hazing. Like it's not like bad hazing, but it's just a bunch of unnecessary
Like pushing
bullshit.
you. Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to be the bitch for 1 year or whatever.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And once you get done with that, like you're good. So you're part of the cadet wing and stuff. The unfortunate thing was I got a minor possession of alcohol when I was 19, right before that date. So
Oh shit.
yeah, I was like I was on alcohol probation for like a whole year, pretty much.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. And that's just possession of it, period, or drinking
Yeah.
on campus or in your
Yeah,
dorm, or
No,
what?
it was the craziest thing. I was walking, so I had an empty red Solo cup, right? My buddy had beer in his hand, and we got the beer by my buddy's cousin's ID, right?
Okay.
And I got a minor possession off the odor of my breath, and his cousin's got an open carry, so he was good, but his cousin got like $100 ticket because his cousin was of age.
Damn.
And now I go to Albertan bars, like
Yeah, it's
18-year-olds
18.
just getting shittered.
Yeah. I was about to say how is
We don't have that problem
yeah.
here.
Absolutely not, man. I'm
Yeah.
fucking jealous. But
Were you because most Canadians know the age in America is 21. Did you know it was like the other way around kind of thing? or-
yeah. Well, I thought it was 19
Oh, okay, right.
wide just because I'm from the Ontario
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the smarter thing to do.
Hmm.
I think 18 is an appropriate
Yeah, for
age
sure.
to drink alcohol.
19 seems like a weird random number that the rest of Canada picked for whatever reason, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, so does 21.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 21's always seemed weird, and then, I've known people who went to American colleges and stuff, and because it's like a forbidden fruit their whole life, like once you turn 21, it seems to be way worse from what I'm told. People just
Absolutely.
going nuts, right? So,
I don't know the stats of it, but I bet to say the binge drinking rates in college are a lot worse in America than probably anywhere else, just because you can't drink alcohol until you're alone with other like-minded individuals that have been abstaining themselves from alcohol for so long. So it was like, yo, let's party, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have a cousin who went to school in the States, and he said a problem too is that, if someone gets too shit-faced and needs to go to a hospital even or something, no one wants to take them because you'll get in trouble for being with that person. And it results in people hurting themselves, basically.
Yeah.
So
Fortunately, I never was really in that situation, but I could see that being a thing as well.
Absolutely.
I think you're supposed to have some sort of immunity if it's to save, like if it's to protect somebody else.
Okay. Yeah.
But I could see people like
being afraid or
and getting in trouble for it.
Yeah, you never hear about frat parties in Canada.
Not so much. No. It's different, right? So
yeah.
Actually, so on that note, and I remember when we saw your stand-up, you had some good bits about this. But is there anything like really weird that Canadians do when you got here? You're like, what kind of backwards ass country?
No, honestly, I think a lot of the stuff makes more sense. To
like
be
what?
Honest, Kraft peanut butter, that makes sense.
You guys don't have that?
No, we don't have Kraft peanut butter.
What?
Oh, damn.
Swear to God.
Jesus.
Yeah, it
So
blows people mind.
I guess is it like Jif or something?
Yeah, it's Jif.
Oh,
Jif
okay.
exclusively. There's like Peter Pan brand, and then there's like off-brand stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, no Kraft peanut butter.
Damn.
Have
you had ketchup chips?
Yeah, I've definitely had. My buddy from Winnipeg put me onto Chup Chips. So, yeah, we don't have ketchup chips. We don't. All season's not a thing.
Yeah.
And malt vinegar is an acceptable condiment. I'm pretty much just listing off shit from Letterkenny right now. So, I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's pretty much the same. I guess the way to explain it is like Canada is just like America, just Canadian. So there's businesses that are just like the Canadian equivalent, like
right.
Canada Tire is like a Lowe's but sells a lot more shit, It's just
Right.
I don't know. I haven't noticed too much of a difference. Universal healthcare is dope. I'm saving my dad like $400 a month from getting off his plan.
Shit.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, he was definitely a big factor in like pushing me towards that. So
Go to Canada.
when I was back home for break, I was just praying that I didn't get injured. I was like, fuck, I gotta take like a 2-hour drive to Windsor to hit the clinic or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty similar. I kind of just like it more. I know it's super cliche, but the people are much more friendly. I don't know. The social aspect is more natural to me.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And I have no. The shit's expensive though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Food's really expensive. Gas
Booze
is incredibly expensive. Yeah, booze.
But you can't carry a gun.
That's true. And I feel a lot more safe in Canadian ghettos than I do in American ghettos. I've only lived on the fucking north side of Edmonton. People are like, yo, how much do you make playing in the CFL? And I'm just like, just enough to live on the north side. So, like, we've seen what the stadium looks like, man. So, but no, I feel a lot more safe because of that.
Interesting. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Yeah, I have no complaints besides the cost of certain things. Yeah. I used to chew tobacco just to stay awake during like football meetings.
Yeah, but impossible.
Not in Alberta, man. I'm not dropping $29 a tin for
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It was bad when I went back to the States for holidays.
Yeah.
I was just like chain chewing,
man.
Like a tin a day. And
yeah.
I was like, I just need to get out of this godforsaken country.
I was a hockey player, so every single time guys went down to the States, they'd fill up a fucking hockey bag with like logs and bring them back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my buddy lived in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and
Yep.
he said he'd always hop to the Sault and the Michigan side to pick up tobacco for his buddies.
Nice. Yeah, that I literally remember, so the high school we went to had like a hockey academy, and like so when they would go on trips to play American teams, they came back and guys would just walk through the hallway with like their bags just like selling tins.
Absolutely, man. Smuggling tobacco to Canada is incredibly lucrative.
The margins are huge. So
That's what I'm saying, man.
you can sell it. It's way better than what we get here and different flavors and stuff. And then even if you sell for like $20, that's still a smoking deal by Canadian standards.
The variety of chewing tobacco is only possible with American capitalism. There's so many types of pouches. I used to chew pouches, right? Which is like just like a you know what it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's packs now, which are just larger pouches. So I don't understand, but
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot more variety down south, I guess. But besides that,
but like for everything too, like when you go to a Walgreens, like there's all these pop flavors you've never even didn't imagine were possible.
Different world.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
It's
and
crazy.
you watch TV. There's pharmaceutical ads.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fucked up thing about the States.
If
you think about it.
I love the side effects. You make that.
Oh yeah, the side effects. It's like, hey, this will reduce headaches. Side effects are, and it's like this long, and it's like loss of limbs, heart attacks.
Going back to the chewing tobacco just for a second, though, nobody's getting hooked on straight chewing tobacco. It's that grape shit that gets everybody going.
Yeah, skull grape.
Oh God, man.
Yeah, it's not good. And I don't know. The thing is, I understand that it's gross. It's bad for me. Everything.
Mm.
It's just tobacco is just a bitch of a drug, man.
I know.
Addiction is just a thing.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I never got into darts just because I played football. Like I needed my lungs. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't need the lips though.
Yeah, don't need the lips.
What did Victor say? Save the lungs, wreck your gums. Something along
those lines.
That's an ism, I guess, with frequent chewers. But
yeah, hopefully, I mean, thankfully, I've kicked it thus far.
There's a wood table here you can knock on.
Yeah, next time I get back into the States, I'll see if my discipline is there.
Oh man, that's good. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. States is cool. I like to go to the States, but
there's definitely pros and cons with both.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just grew up there, so
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna enjoy it, obviously, but I'm the first one also to kind of be critical of it and to understand that and we have our fair share of problems,
right?
Especially being from Michigan and the whole Flint water crisis.
Right.
Something that is such a, I don't know, like just a third world type of situation happen in the United States.
Yeah.
It kind of blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got in a conversation last night with the military dude about that and just like military spending and stuff. And that's just like a whole discussion.
Yeah, most definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
You got a lot of material though out of the Americans too, though.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's I do like. I'm getting better at it. I think when I first started stand up here, I kind of pushed like the differences between Canada and America too much, just because I don't know if I was making the correct stereotypes or like the correct observations about things.
Okay.
But now,
yeah.
But now I like to pick on both countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
equally,
for sure.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I don't know. I think people are probably decently aware of them. So, and you probably
and Canadians are much less prideful of their. I mean, I wouldn't say less prideful, but like more willing to take a joke.
They can take it on the
about
chin,
Canada,
sort of thing. Yeah, they
where
won't.
like half of the states is like, if you talk shit about
Yeah,
Ronald Reagan, I'm gonna fucking murder you.
yeah, exactly. You make a joke and some guy and stands up in the back and is like,
Alberta's a weird crowd to get into though.
Yeah,
because you have almost
strange mix.
Yeah, you have like a 50-50. We're like Texas, but we're also like fucking Quebec.
The rest
or
of
something
Canada.
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I did my first rural Alberta show in Camrose, and I made a hip-hop reference that has been killing in Edmonton, and I didn't get a single laugh for like the minute and a half bit in Camrose.
Damn.
I was like, all right, I just have to do the crude, hacky, short stuff to get these people to laugh.
Yeah.
So that was a lot different seeing rural Alberta.
Yeah.
I'm excited I want to see Grand Prairie. I want to see Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to say you have
Yeah,
kind of
just
thing,
to
or?
see it and to see. I mean, those are popular comedy destinations to like
Right,
get out
right.
of Edmonton.
Yeah.
So I want to see if I can make those people laugh as well.
Cool, nice.
Yeah.
Where was the show in Camrose? Do you
Is
remember?
that like the retro bar?
Is it?
It's I don't know what road that is, but it was kind
Did
of.
it have a stripper pole in it?
I think they do, and it's like 80s themed.
Oh, okay,
It's like
maybe.
retro 80s themed. It's
Huh.
pretty weird. There's like an
Interesting, yeah.
arcade there.
Oh, okay, maybe that's not the one place. But actually, it was interesting that you knew, because you said something about Camrose before we started. But I was surprised you like knew where it was and stuff. But I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense for.
Yeah, that was really my first time going to rural Alberta. Besides, actually, the 4th of July, we went up to Athabasca and shot guns.
Okay.
So that
cool.
was a good time.
So very American
Yeah.
pastime of your.
Yeah, it was actually our buddy David Beard. He's a Canadian. I think he's from up there. He kind of set it up together, but he had a lot of Americans there that decided not to go back for the bye week. So, yeah,
Oh, good times.
it was a good time.
Cool. Awesome. So, actually, on that note, like, I'm kind of curious. So, your comedy experience in the States, like, is there, aside from what you just talked about, but is there kind of a difference in the rooms, I guess? Like, any immediately noticeable ones, or?
Yeah, I just say in certain rooms, and this is just with my experience. I haven't done comedy in the big markets like New York or LA or even Chicago.
Right.
It's just the rooms are there's a lot more polarity. So
Okay.
I hosted a show for the first time, and I said this joke, and I was expecting it's a city on the lake. It's called Grand Haven,
'Kay.
and like the downtown area is kind of progressive. Just because it's a big tourist destination, really nice town. So I thought that's where it was going to be. So I pretty much, but it was on the eastern side, so it was much more rural, much more conservative. So
Okay.
this was in 2016, and my opening joke was I was expecting to see a bunch of college-age blonde women here, but now that I'm here, I realize why Donald Trump got elected. And they fucking booed me right off the jump,
no.
dude.
Shit.
I had to do 10 minutes just sweating bullets,
Yeah.
trying to make these rednecks laugh. And I was like coming with some real sacrilegious shit too. So it wasn't easy, but that's kind of just what you have to deal with. And then a few weeks later, I had this alternative, hanging out with a girl and my buddy and his girlfriend, going to have a nice barbecue, or I could drive 3 hours to Detroit to tell a mic in like mostly an all-black room on the west side of Detroit. And I was like, fuck it, I've never done a room like this. I'm going to see if I can make these people laugh, you know?
Okay.
And I went there, and it was terrible. It was I didn't know it was at a strip club. It was at a strip club, like hookah lounge.
Oh,
I
damn.
got asked if I was a cop 3 times. I'm just outside, like, smoking with the host and, like, a couple of strippers. And then I just went inside, said 5-minute set just to the most disinterested audience I could ever imagine. It was a few blocks away from this place called Murder Mac, which is a McDonald's known for murder.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
that was a terrible time.
Shit.
But I mean, that's kind of like that's what you get into.
I mean, I guess you gotta
when you do
you're doing
comedy.
Yeah. What was it like? All right, taking a break from the strippers. Welcome Peter to the stage.
No,
or
that's-
like, what
that's-
was the dynamic there?
No, the stripper, they weren't actively stripping. They were just the waitresses at the time.
Oh,
So,
that started later, I guess, or something.
I guess, man. There were poles and there were strippers. And so that's why I call it a strip club. But I don't know what it really was, to be honest.
Maybe
Damn.
it was just a really good Hooters.
Maybe, man. But yeah, no, there was definitely a lot of stripping done there. Just cause, like, there was like promo posters and stuff, you know.
All right,
so yeah, it was. That was an uncomfortable experience. I had a few of my buddies that I played football with from Detroit that came and watched, and that didn't really make it any better.
No.
So I was like, wow, you guys just saw me bomb in front of So you know what? Those you kind of just got to shake off.
Yeah.
Learn from them. I
guess. Is what it is. You definitely have to, as a comedian, like eat shit a few times. I guess, right? It's part of the process. And
absolutely
makes you good.
And so the rooms in Canada, I don't know. What I've noticed is that they're a lot more kind of diverse. Like the Secret Show, the weed friendly show on Thursdays, right? I've seen people in there with suits, and I've seen like homeless people in there with neon vest jackets at the same show, just watching it. You know, it's like there's a lot in Edmonton, I guess. There's a lot of people watching comedy, a lot of different type of people, which is a really cool dynamic to have.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair.
Interesting. What show are you doing tonight?
I'm doing O'Byrne's. So,
I forgot they have comedy.
Yeah, so that's it's a difficult room when it's not good.
There's not
there'll
busy
be like,
sort of thing.
There'll be like 2 to 3 people there and comedians, or it'll be like a decently packed kind of little room.
Okay.
So it's like real up in the air. Hopefully it's good tonight. You
it's
never
warm
really know.
tonight, so
I'm thinking that might
get people out a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I never. So yesterday it was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it was like -17 or something. And I never thought 0 degrees Fahrenheit would feel warm, just compared to what it's been.
Right.
Like I was walking to the LRT just because my car wouldn't start, you know. So I was like, man, this actually feels kind of good. Even if I was back home in Michigan, I'd be freezing my ass off. Yeah. But just compared to -30, it's not bad at all.
So true, man.
And
hey?
And now, like, I'm excited. I didn't even wear my parka today.
Yeah,
Just rocked the vest and hoodie look. So
I put away my down jacket and wore a relatively less thick jacket.
Yeah, I think we got a week of this.
Oh yeah,
like a week of around -5, right?
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it's supposed to go back to like a deep freeze, is it? I don't know.
I don't know. That last one was like.
That was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad comparative to what's normal in Alberta.
Oh yeah. We're usually good for like 1 to 2 weeks of that per winter around this time of year, and then it kind of gets away.
Is there a threat that it will get to like -30 again in February?
Could happen. Yeah, could happen, bro. Could happen in April, bro. You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, oh, winter's over. Fuck.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
I was just wondering. I like because I had a feeling that could be possible.
Yeah.
My coach last year, he doesn't coach anymore here. But Jason Moss, he said that he's seen snow in every month in Alberta.
Probably true, bro.
Yeah.
Probably true.
Probably, yeah. I mean, actually, is he from here? Isn't he?
No. I thought he was. He picked up the Canadian
local guy.
He picked up the Canadian accent really well. But no, I think he's from Arizona.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because he's been with the Eskimos for so long. Like, he literally came to like my elementary school and gave a talk kind of thing, right, when he was playing or whatever. So
yeah, he's won a Grey Cup. Such a good dude and professional coach. But I mean, it's a business. Like So
yeah, absolutely. It is.
But he's found a spot in Saskatchewan. He's going to be the offensive coordinator.
Oh, really? Okay, good for him.
Yeah, so cool. It was good learning from him. Like my first year, it definitely taught me how to be a professional or what it looks like to be a professional.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so.
That's good. That's good.
How do you guys look for 2020?
Man, I think it's too early to. I don't know, man. Like I think I'm still trying to figure out the CFL thing myself, so I don't know like what a good off-season team roster looks.
Fair.
I really like our head coach. His name's Scott Milanovic. Has CFL experience in Toronto. Coached Trevor Harris, our quarterback, in Toronto.
Cool.
And he's been with the Jaguars the last few years. So I haven't gotten to talk with him yet, but I have to introduce myself to most of the staff so far. But what I see, I like most of them. So
yeah. Good stuff. Nice. Do they know you're a comedian of your second life, or?
Yeah. So actually, my GM came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I heard that you're a comedian." He's like, "I got to go to a show sometime." I was like, to be real, man, like with all due respect, I don't know if I can handle my GM seeing me do comedy. And he was like, yeah, I feel you, man, whenever you're comfortable. So, no, maybe this off season I'll invite Brock out. But actually, I had a lot of fun. We had a road trip like in Hamilton, and right next to our hotel was a Levity Comedy Club.
Okay.
My buddy Pat Capiano, he owns it. It used to be a Yuck Yucks. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so I did a set there Wednesday. There's probably 20 people in our organization that watched. I kind of crushed it, so that was
Nice.
really cool to do
Sick.
well in
This guy's
front of a lot of
fucking
guys.
modest guy, eh?
Yeah, hey.
Kind of crushed.
Just kind of awesome. No, I don't know. That's probably a pretty good feeling to
Yeah,
crush in front of your friends, right?
Yeah, and it's just such a weird dynamic, man, playing football and doing comedy.
That is a very unique brand
And
that you got going, which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's I know like Pat McAfee. I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He's the one of the other football players that does it. So I guess I kind of look up to him. But
Sick. Is he a stand-up comedian?
yeah, so
Really?
he does stand up as well as podcasting.
Oh, okay.
Dude's just a
I
naturally
didn't
funny
really,
dude.
I didn't really know that. I know about his podcast. I haven't listened a ton, but
Yeah.
no, I know he's pretty popular show.
My
so.
buddy on the team, Tavon Smith, he played at the Colts, and
Okay.
he actually played with Pat
Oh,
McAfee, and yeah, he would do stand up in Indy and stuff, and talk about playing with Peyton and
Oh, cool.
a bunch of funny stories. But yeah, just the type of energies that football takes, it's mental, but it's also just so physical, and
Oh, yeah.
it's very draining. And then with stand up, it's also mental, but it's also psychological, man. And I feel like I'd be much cockier if I just played football. I feel like my head would be a lot more
I
inflated.
could see that.
If I didn't do stand up and ate shit every once in a while in
Okay.
front of, because it is pretty humbling when
for
you
sure,
pursue to make a room full of strangers laugh and you fail miserably.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fucking
That
humbling.
would be hard.
man.
That would be hard.
So I
Yeah.
feel like I like what it adds to my personality, and I think it makes me a much more interesting person, and hopefully I can make the transition from pro football player to pro comedian. That would be the dream. So that's kind of what I'm
Sick.
pursuing
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. Yeah, awesome. So, one thing I wanted to do just to change it up for our show, I wanted to do a Canadian quiz to
Gotcha, man.
see how Canadian you are. So, if you're up for it,
I'm probably gonna be like C minus. I'm gonna be
All right.
probably like 71% Canadian.
I'm probably not going to even know how to fucking answer.
actually, do we want to go natural Canadian versus?
Oh, we could do that.
we could try that. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's see. Let me grab the note
I'm not
here.
a very good Canadian, so we'll see
We'll
what
see.
happens.
And winner gets. Actually, wait. You're both citizens. Never mind. Loser gets their citizenship taken away.
Loser gets deported.
Yeah. All right. Okay. These are a mix of.
So we're gonna go like 1 and 1, or
We'll
are
start-
we gonna
we'll start
buzz
with-
it?
We'll start with you, and then
yeah.
we'll see if Josh.
We'll
knows
start
it.
with the immigrant.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay. We'll start. Some are more like historical versus like Canadian-isms. So you'll
Gotcha.
see where I'm going. So,
'Kay.
what year did Canada become a country?
Oh no, man. Oh no.
1776.
That's America.
Yeah.
That's funny. 1861.
Pretty good. 1867.
Oh, it was close.
Shit,
guess,
no,
good guess.
I would have known.
I knew it was in
fucking
the 1860s.
Yeah,
Nice. Solid. Okay.
I know it was like 100 and something. We're 100 and something.
Yeah, it was Canada 150 a couple years ago. 2 years ago.
Okay.
2017.
After the quiz, I'm gonna ask how the whole Commonwealth thing works because I don't understand.
You bet.
I'm just from the land of the revolution.
Yeah, exactly.
North versus south.
Yeah. What is Canada's national summer sport?
Is that me or him? Me.
You first, and then Josh will. I'm just making sure he doesn't look at my phone here. So.
I think I know this one.
All right. It's not curling. Even
No.
though it's indoors and theoretically could be a summer
Could
sport.
be year round, but arguably hockey could be too, right? If it's
CFL football.
All right. I'm gonna volleyball.
lacrosse.
I knew that one.
I should have.
I should
Yeah.
have. I was thinking box lacrosse for some reason. I should have just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
But
dumb.
related to hockey, so
I knew that one.
Yeah.
I did know that one.
Is lacrosse bigger in the East or the West or?
Generally the East.
Yeah.
Like where it's actually quite popular is more so in the States, though. Even though it's like a Canadian
absolutely.
game, but at American colleges, right? Like no Canadian universities have teams or anything.
Oh yeah,
So-
the Iroquois Nation have their own lacrosse team, don't they?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
Is Simon Fraser a Canadian sport?
It's
SF
so it's in Vancouver, but
It plays
it's in D2
NCAA.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So
Yeah,
it's-
that blew my mind. My buddy,
What?
first roommate here, he played at SFU and he played at Simon Fraser and
'Kay.
yeah, it's in NCAA.
And I think they have a football
They do.
team as well. Yeah.
That's interesting.
yeah.
That's really
Like I have no idea where it is in Vancouver. I just know it's in Vancouver and
Couldn't
plays.
tell
Yeah. And then, but yeah, because a lot of Canadians, because lacrosse is popular here, but they go play. And then the weird thing is because there's a professional lacrosse is kind of weird because it's not extremely popular, but there's a professional league. The bigger professional league is actually box lacrosse, like indoor.
Yeah.
But all the college teams are outdoor, like field lacrosse. So it's kind of strange.
I'm kind of familiar with the sport. It's too jerky for me though.
Mhm.
I don't like the rhythm of the game personally.
I
but
never got into it.
I see what you're saying.
I've
for sure.
had some friends that
Yeah.
were into it in college though. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
played summer hockey.
And well, the interesting thing actually is because in Canada, lacrosse is seen as kind of a rough, goonish sport because you can hit anyone who does, even if they don't have the ball, right?
Yeah.
So, but in the Northeast states, it's seen more as kind of like a preppy college sport.
yeah,
So then when when Canadian teams go play American teams, like they think we're the biggest goons ever because they're just so excited that they can just run around and hit everyone and take their heads off, right? So
that's hilarious.
yeah. But okay. Which stereotypically American sport was actually invented by a Canadian?
Basketball.
I knew that one
Ding,
too.
ding, ding.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's
Okay.
a huge thing about that on like some award show lately.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
What type of prepackaged dinner do Canadians consume more of than any other country?
Jesus, I actually don't know that.
Prepackaged dinner.
It's there's noodles involved. If you want a hint.
Ramen noodles?
No.
Yeah.
We mentioned the brand earlier in the conversation, actually.
Kraft something.
Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Kraft dinner.
Kraft dinner.
dinner. Okay.
Kraft dinner.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Not bad. All right. What are the typical ingredients of a Caesar? Go for like key ingredients, not the.
Yeah, so vodka, clamato, and is it clamato or clamato?
Clamato.
Clamato.
Okay.
Yeah.
Horseradish?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I feel like you can make these a billion
You
different ways.
can, but there's.
Worcestershire?
Yep.
Yep.
And is there any more?
There's one more main sauce.
One more main sauce. Worcestershire, clamato.
Shit. I actually don't even know this.
Worcestershire. All right, I said horseradish. No, what's the other sauce?
Break the tension. Tell
It's
us.
hot sauce, specifically Tabasco sauce, technically. But
Okay.
yeah.
That was silly. I should have got that.
That was pretty good.
I feel like
okay.
he's more Canadian than I am. This is.
You're beating Josh.
Yo,
actually,
so actually, I had the weirdest Albertan night ever, man.
recently.
Yes, it was Tuesday. It was last Tuesday, and
'Kay.
I did a show at the Towers, which is at McEwen.
Yep.
And yeah, so
Shout out.
By the way, have they always done? Sorry to interrupt you. Have they always done comedy there, or
Not
is that
that
a
I
new
know
thing?
of.
I don't
think
think
that's
so.
a new thing.
I think it's
yeah.
relatively
Must
new.
be
I think it
'Cause
started last summer.
We both went to McEwen, but I don't remember there being stand-up nights or anything.
Yeah.
so.
No.
So this woman and her boyfriend really enjoyed my set, and they invited me to this guy's auntie's place on the north side, and like they were like good people, a little odd,
'Kay.
but yeah. So I said no, like I gotta go home. I'm kind of like an introverted guy, and like I definitely like my personal private time, but then she was just so like, I don't know, just,
Persistent.
Yeah, persistent about it. That's the word. And I was like, all right, whatever. So we walk, like, this was when it was -30, grant you, and it was me and 3 other comedians, and then this woman and her boyfriend, and we go to his 2004 Oldsmobile Valero that has no eternal heat.
Nice.
Like, he's shit-faced, and he's driving, and like he's and he at this point I'm like, fuck it, I'm here for the ride, you know. And it's -30, no eternal heat, road's terrible. On our way to the north side, and he's like, yeah man, my auntie runs Mona Lisa's on 118th. I was like, that's cool, I don't know what that is, right? So we're just scraping the inside of his car just so he can see, and I'm giving him directions even though he's been an Edmontonian all of his life. So yeah, it's kind of the same point. You said I was more Canadian than you. I was giving this dude directions.
So what happened though?
Yeah.
We ended up at his auntie's place. We were
Like a bar?
No, it was at her house.
Her house.
On like 122nd or something.
Oh, okay.
And I had a pretty good time. Like,
There
it was
you go.
weird. Like, I wasn't expecting like it to be a good time, but it was a good time. Just drank. And
When you first started that story, I was like,
Is this
Is
going to be like
she
an orgy?
is she soliciting him for a threesome?
yeah, somebody.
Did that thought cross your mind at any point?
My buddy was like, "Yo, he didn't like ask you to have sex with her while he watched." I was like, no, but the funny thing is she heckled me and I made fun of her bad. Like, I shot her down. And after the set, he like went up to me and he was like, dude, way to shut her up and pound her. I was like, yo. So
Nice.
it was weird, man, but you know what, it was I considered the whole situation just submersing myself in Albertan culture.
And the culture.
I just
Yeah.
fucking
There you go.
I just fucking
Let
sent
me
it.
live amongst the locals.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even think we have a culture, but you know what? We definitely do.
we definitely do.
We definitely do.
And on that note, this transitions well to the next question. So, what articles of clothing comprise a Canadian tuxedo?
I got that.
Jean jacket.
There's only two.
Jeans.
Yeah.
Jeans and jean
Same,
jacket.
Yeah.
same color.
Blue jeans.
Yeah.
Same color. Yeah.
I
give it
did
to
start rocking the jean jacket when I got up here. I haven't gone the whole tuxedo, Canadian tuxedo look,
No.
but
I always wear the contrasting
Yeah.
jeans, so I
if you wear
don't
different
do it.
color jeans, you're in the clear. But
all right, I feel you.
Yeah.
what is a serviette?
Damn.
I know this one.
I honestly have no idea.
Josh?
Napkin.
It's a napkin.
Okay. I feel that.
Great French influence. How do you say the last letter of the Canadian alphabet?
Yo, I fuck this up all the time, but it's Z.
Yeah.
That's
Nice,
funny.
nice.
I say Z so often, and that just gives it away, man.
Lots of people say Z, but I don't know. I feel like it's more so the other way around, that if you go to America and say Z, they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah. What is a garburator?
I don't know. I've never heard
It's
of
typically in the kitchen area of your home.
a garburator. Is it a food disposal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a guess.
Yeah.
They don't have those in the US?
They have them, but they
They
call
don't call
them
'em-
like garbage disposal.
Yeah, they call them garbage disposal.
Yeah, garburator is a Canadian term. I actually learned that
Wow, that's
researching
wild.
this quiz.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Shit,
yeah.
Yeah, that was just a swing in the dark
All
when
right.
it landed.
How many ounces of alcohol are in a Mickey?
Is it 18?
No.
60?
No. It's typically 13. 12 or 13.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because you get actually, the weird thing that I learned is, because Americans, like, the size of bottles of booze, you guys
Yeah.
call it different things.
Yeah, so we'll call it 2.6 a fifth.
Right. Fifth.
Yep.
Because it's a fifth of a,
Gallon, I think.
Right,
And then a
okay.
half gal. I don't know what you'd call a half gal.
60?
yeah.
Okay.
60,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
So 2.6 refers to how much it costs?
26 ounces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My
Which
bad.
is weird that we as Canadians refer to the number of ounces, but we don't use ounce in anything else, right? So, and then Mickey is a pocket, depending on, right?
Okay.
I don't know. That's what some people have told me, but I guess it depends on which state
Yeah.
you're in.
I haven't dove into Mickey's too much.
Yeah.
Mickey's
like the little
pussy shit. You go for the 2.6.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Mickey's like the little one, like the little
You'll get razzed by your buddies if you bring a Mickey to a pre
party or whatever.
You bring a 2.6. You bring a full 2.6.
At the northside gathering that I was talking to you about at this dude's auntie's place, we were drinking Lucky's and a 2.6 of Lambs.
There you go.
Oh, Lambs. Oh, man.
Lucky is
Lucky.
literally that's the kind of beer I was wanting to talk about the other day. We were talking about shit beers.
Oh, really?
You guys were like, Old Mill's the best, and I was like,
I actually don't hate Lucky. Like
I don't hate
it's
Lucky's
a cheap beer,
either.
but it's okay. Lambs is was it Lambs Navy?
I don't know.
Oh, was it dark? Like dark rum?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
T&T is a really cheap beer too, right?
like even cheaper.
Yeah, that was my thing.
I'm a big PBR guy. That's
Yeah,
probably my
fair
favorite
enough.
domestic American beer.
Fair enough.
PBR is good. Yeah. Where are we now? Where in a house would you typically find a Chesterfield?
Man. Chesterfield. Would that be the dining room?
Living
Basement?
room?
Yeah. Yeah, Chesterfield is a couch.
Oh, okay.
It's like a
Gotcha.
British-ism, I think.
So is it like referred to a couch brand or just the couch
No,
itself?
just a couch itself.
A
Like you just call it a
Chesterfield.
Chesterfield.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite Canadian term is toque.
Toque.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
bro.
I didn't
guess,
know
is it a beanie in?
It's a beanie in the
Oh, okay,
States.
yeah.
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 I think a toque is just it's just cooler. It's just a cooler name
There's
than a
some-
beanie.
yeah,
in
Some
my opinion.
French influence, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like a toque refers to something a little more specific, kind of like thicker with a pom-pom or something, versus like a beanie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we still call beanies.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We would still call that a beanie though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's funny, but
Cultural differences.
yeah, crazy stuff. Okay, 2 more.
Alrighty.
We're doing not bad here. I feel like Josh has not known a bunch of these either.
I feel like I'm losing.
Okay. On which part of a body would a Canadian wear a thong?
Oh man. Oh, the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flip-flops. Thong.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
It's not female underwear?
Well, I mean, it is, yes, but Canadians call flip-flops thongs.
Well,
Some of them do.
I don't like flip-flops, but I do like thongs, so there we go.
That had me lost until it just came to me. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. One more, and I didn't know this. This is supposedly a Canadianism, but despite its name, it's not a bird. Who or what in Canada is typically referred to as a snowbird?
Ah.
I got this one.
Well, in the States, a snow bunny refers to a white woman.
I mean, not exactly related, but not totally unrelated. But kind of in very different contexts.
That enjoys cocaine?
No, I think
I think it just means like a chick who's like quite like fair skinned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like a more urban term. It's like I think a black person would call a white woman a snow bunny.
Fair.
Yeah, I
Fair
think
enough.
that's where it comes from. I
Yeah.
don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But snowbird? I don't know, man. Have no idea.
Josh, any?
Well, it is also like the Air Force here, but
Oh,
it's-
yeah, I guess it is.
yeah, the Canadian snowbird. But it's people that go down to the States for winter.
So like
Oh,
old
okay.
retired people
Yeah.
who go down to Arizona or whatever for the
Typically
winter.
Arizona or
It's
Palm Springs.
Especially Albertans.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
call them
that's-
snowbirds
Yeah.
because they fly south for the winter.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
And-
it's the same same sort of deal in Michigan.
Yeah.
A lot of people go
Yeah,
down
I
to
guess
Florida.
you're from the northern states, so
Yeah.
in theory a lot of people would still
Think
do
of
that.
like Western Ontario. It's pretty similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, That was my Canadian quiz for you.
Cool.
So
Did I get a 5 out of 10?
I think you got about half of them right. So
All right.
Good job.
not
man.
bad. It's a pass.
I mean, I'm a 50% Canadian,
Yeah,
so
no,
it
it's
makes
pretty
sense.
good. Pretty good. It also reminded me, looking these up, there's so many words and stuff that are isms, but there's also a lot of ones that I feel like only old people say. Like,
Definitely.
I think if it was geography, I think it would have had a better chance.
Could be.
oh, like what is the capital of X and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I mean,
I'm
CFL, right? So
I'm decent with geography, but
Yeah.
I guess I have to. I don't know. I guess I have to dive into American or Canadian culture more.
So you have 2 passports then, probably, right?
I only have an American passport, but it
Ah.
says born in Canada.
Interesting.
Huh.
So because I have birthright, it's super. Because getting into America is much harder than
Yeah.
getting into Canada.
Sure.
So it's really nice having an American passport, but it's really nice saying I was born in Canada because I don't need to really carry my birth certificate just because I got that.
Yeah. Could you get a Canadian passport?
I could. I plan on doing it too.
Yeah.
I want to travel abroad as a Canadian.
I was just going to say, there are certain countries that you probably want the Canadian passport,
Absolutely.
but there's also probably countries you would prefer the U.S. passport. So
Oh, shit, my bad.
It's
all good.
You got a napkin or something, Josh?
I got a serviette right there.
Yeah, I'm the worst with spilling things, man.
All good.
Thank you.
What do you do with your coffee? Double?
Serviette.
No, I
Mesa
can't do
meat.
sugar.
Wayne Gretzky, 9 and 9.
No, I'm just a one cream type of guy.
Same, bro.
I used to drink it black until I got up here, and then I don't know if it's an age thing, but I just couldn't handle it anymore. It's just too dark. It's too strong.
Yeah, black. I don't know. Black coffee. I go into phases where I get into black coffee for a bit, but I don't know. Sometimes it's just like
There's a guy in the States that I follow on Twitter that has some good coffee so black references, but
well, maybe
we'll forgo those
people
today.
can look those up on their own. But
Yeah, actually, my buddy, the really tall guy,
Yeah.
the 6'11" guy, he
Okay.
told me the coffee is so black joke, and then
Yeah.
it's not appropriate for a podcast. It's funny though.
They are pretty good. They are pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. Good that he can. Well, actually, the gentleman there was a Twitter account that just wrote these, and he's a black dude. So,
Oh yeah, he's like a black chess player physicist dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's an interesting combo.
It's a very interesting combo. So
This this woman introduced me, and she's like, "Yeah, I work with computers and I strip," and I was like, I feel like I'm the same thing. Like I play football and do stand up. Like we both sell our souls and sell our bodies.
Nice. Awesome.
does
What's
she
that?
do webcamming though?
Wait, yeah. What does work with computers
'Cause
mean?
that's-
That could be a lot of different
No,
things.
I think she's just kind of into IT.
Interesting.
I didn't really dive too much into the computer one.
That's
more-
not what grabbed your interest.
Yeah, no.
That's literally the one I'd be like, oh, so you do that?
Yeah. No, I was-
Start talking to her about like coding and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's definitely a cool combination to have.
Interesting combination.
Intriguing, yeah. So
Yeah.
day job of tech support and
Nighttime.
Entertainer.
There you go.
there you go.
Can't knock a person's hustle, I guess.
No,
No.
absolutely not. Man, that's wow. I have several follow-up questions for her. if
She's probably
uh,
rolling in the money. We'll just put it that way.
yeah.
Yeah, she's probably not doing too bad. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but Diamonds had a fire, and I drive up Gateway decently often, and they still haven't fixed it. It still has like the construction fencing around it. So Edmonton Strip Club scene is now down a strip club.
I've
so.
never been to a stripper's.
No,
Same, bro.
but
I just don't have any. I don't know. I don't have any interest in it. I'm going to Vegas for a bachelor party for my best friend, so I'll
Wow.
probably
Nice.
end up going
Well.
because of that.
Pound revoked.
you just stay in Pier over there, Josh,
I
or
just-
what?
Yeah, bro. Man
Yeah.
of God.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm rather pure myself. So
Not really. I just have had no interest whatsoever. Well, my buddy, when he turned 18, they brought him to Diamonds, and he tried to swipe his credit card, and he got kicked out of the strippers. So.
oh man, I heard in Alberta that you can throw loonies.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
making it hail,
Well,
bro.
that's
That's too much, man.
Yeah. So actually, that's an interesting Canadian thing, is because you throw money, but our dollar denomination is hard metal, so you like throw it at them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they do like
We're Alberta, where stripping's a contact sport.
yeah. I mean, it is. I think that I'm assuming it's all of Canada, but
That's awesome, man.
they what they'll do is they'll have a poster of them and they'll like hold it,
Yeah.
usually not with their hands, and you try to throw the
Yeah.
loonie into the poster, like they have it rolled up, and you try to throw it in, and if you throw it in, they'll like give it to you.
Nice.
And like
Fully
sometimes
unaware.
dudes will like sit.
Man, guess I got to go to the strip club.
Yeah,
Like,
get-
I don't really
get
want to
some-
look
get
at
a roll of loonies first.
Yeah, I don't really want to look at the women. I just kind of want to shoot hoops.
Yeah. What some dudes do is they'll sit per row and have a lighter and heat up the loonies a little bit and then throw it at them. So it's like hot metal.
That's disrespect. That's not nice.
This is not nice to women.
Yeah.
That's very mean.
Very demeaning. I agree. I don't do that, but I've heard of it. So.
I'll ask my friend that works in computers if that's a thing.
Yeah, how she feels. My friend that works in computers. That's awesome. That's good. Oh, cool.
What time's your show at, by the way?
It's at 9.
Oh, okay.
We got a little bit of
We
time.
got some time.
Cool,
We
man.
can keep going.
Just trying to think of a follow fucking question for that.
That was a pretty good bit there. So
Yeah, that was some good content right there.
I was gonna say when I was a little bit younger, I went into one of those like massage places
Yeah.
just because I wanted to see what the quality of entertainer
Masseuse.
was,
Yeah.
and that's a better word for it. Was not impressed.
no.
Did they use a glove?
I don't know. I didn't stick around for that much. I just kind of walked in. And I was like, "Hello." She was like, "I went with two buddies." And
Yeah.
she's like, "You do know what this is, right?" We were like, "Yeah." Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out.
So you didn't. You
No.
didn't. Yeah.
No.
That's
I'll never
good.
pay for it, man. I'll never
Yeah.
pay for it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best policy to go by, to live by.
I think so too.
I don't, not to shame anyone that does pay for sex or those type of acts, but I don't know. I don't think that's for me personally.
Well,
And if it was, I would never tell anybody, especially on a long and hard podcast.
Yeah, especially when it's being recorded and put on the internet. So definitely wouldn't tell anyone on there.
made a loud sound.
Yeah, we've been pounding the table a lot here, but sorry
Yes.
to our audio
Yeah,
listeners.
this table's being
Abused?
abused right now, man. I've spilled my coffee.
Spilling coffee, knocking on it.
Yeah. Did you because I remember you said on the other podcast you're on the other day that people kind of talk about your accent. Like, did the Canadian accent sound kind of weird at first, or even so, does it still?
I just love the Albertan boy accent, just like the whole fucking rights, man. Like, I just fucking love the
Oh, yeah.
just fucking giving her, you know?
Yeah. Do I mean, I'm assuming those same guys really love your last name, just being like Cender.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a joke. It's a pretty lowbrow joke, but it talks about my name, Peter Cender. I didn't really realize how cool it was until very recently. And
Tell you,
then if
met some
like
Canadians and
if Peter means penis and Cender is somebody that sends something, like Peter Sender's a decent name.
Pretty
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's a
good.
Fucking porn
Yeah.
star name,
It's
bro.
akin to Richard Giver.
oh man,
Dude, that's
That's
gonna,
pretty good, too.
That's gonna kill in Fort McMurray.
oh yeah, that will be good.
That's what I'm saying. Man.
yeah, you'll do fine.
You'll be just.
That's like a
dandy. You'll
joke
be
that I
good.
hate saying because I just sound so stupid. But that's like the type of shit that I have to bring to Fort Mac, you know?
100%, man.
for sure. Hopefully, our Fort Mac fans skip this episode, but yeah, I don't know. There is kind of like a small town Alberta thing that everyone loves to rip on, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
So, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it seemed like fine folk. Maybe.
They're friendly.
oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Intelligent.
Well, it depends on what you define as intelligence, I guess. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like, and you can have I mean, a lot of times rural areas don't have much money, but I mean, Alberta, you can have a lot of money, like working in the rigs.
Yeah. Good point, for sure.
Living in the country.
You guys have nice houses.
As they would say, fuck yeah, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Where else can you drive your fucking quads, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
How was my Alberta boy accent?
That was pretty fucking good.
Pretty accurate.
Decent?
Pretty accurate. Yeah, for sure. Would people say that Michigan is the Midwest?
Yeah, Michigan is a Midwest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it pretty much goes from like Ohio to the east to say North Dakota to the west.
Right.
So, like Iowa, Kansas, maybe even Nebraska.
Yeah. Because I feel like Midwest is a pretty wide area. And
it's pretty big. It just kind of refers to the northern part of the states.
Yeah, for sure.
Great Lakes to like the Great Plains type deal.
Definitely.
So like the center.
Yeah. The reason I ask is I know to a lot of Americans would, and even Canadians, think a Midwestern accent, more like a Chicago accent or something like that.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of Canadian.
Yeah.
But then as a Canadian, like if you I've met people from Illinois and like they talk fucking funny to me. So
Minnesota
is kind of the same.
Yeah. See, I think a Minnesota accent is a Canadian accent trying too hard.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You feel me?
Well said.
Yeah.
Someone trying to do a Canadian accent all the time.
Yeah. And people think I'm from the South or from Texas so often. And that's like telling a person from Toronto they sound like they're from Alberta. Like it's a fucking insult, you know?
Yeah. Shit. Well, maybe I don't want to tell you this, but I was going to say when you first did that one show for us for the Sober October thing. Thanks again, by the way.
Yeah, that was an amazing show, man.
I'm glad all the comedians seem to really like it, so I'm glad we put together something they enjoyed.
The attic was cool, and you guys seem to have like a pretty good fan base.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I think, and then talking to some of the other guys about it, just because people knew they were coming to a comedy show, like it was a very engaged audience, which I think everyone the performers seemed to enjoy. So, yeah. So
didn't have to tell too many people to shut up.
Yeah, exactly. I had to tell one of our buddies to shut the hell up. But it's not like a bar where some guy's eating chicken wings and they're like, "Would that guy shut the hell up over there?" Right?
Yeah, some people don't know how to act at a comedy show. Last night, Ryan Short, he's a comedian in town. This guy was just being loud, drunk, and obnoxious, and whenever that happens, he always tells me because I'm always the biggest comedian. So I feel like I'm the enforcer.
You're the comedian enforcer.
Comedy scene.
I was at Andrew Santino's show a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
And there was this...
That was at the Strip, right?
Yeah. And there was this table of, like... It was kind of like this, like... it was like this MILF bachelorette party sort of thing, or whatever.
Those are the worst.
Yeah. There were 12 of them sitting right in front of the stage just fucking talking so goddamn loud.
Yeah.
And like the openers were laying into them a little bit, and then Santino did too. And then at the end, one of them was just talking, and it's funny, I can like see the rage in him because he sort of made fun of them. And then one of the chicks kept saying shit, and he was just standing there like doing this. Like I could tell he was just like boiling up, but he was also just kind of letting them talk, and like the whole room was against them, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So,
I work security at a bar, and this bachelorette party came in, and I was IDing them. And that's a good way to get a woman pissed.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't ID them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, this makes more sense.
Yeah, yeah. And that's like a really, really good way to make a woman in her 30s mad. And she like...
Come on in,
and
ma'am.
then I ID'd a different person, and she was like, what the fuck? I was like, she was born in 97, and it's our company policy to not ID anybody over 40. And she was like, I'm 37, and I was like, I rounded up. Okay. So yeah.
Depends on how much they go out. They probably look 50, bro.
Yeah, it was funny. Like their boyfriends came, and
Okay.
or a couple of guys came in with them,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have a problem not getting ID'd. They went to the bar, just had a great fucking time, you know?
Actually, even I get annoyed when I get, like, not at the bar like it is what it is, but if I'm at a restaurant and I get ID'd, I'm like, kind of like, oh, God damn it. But
Yeah, they don't do that much.
no, not too much. I find, well, like, or if I'm, like, with my family and they ID me, that's always a weird one. And it's like, bro, am I going to use my fake ID while I'm having dinner with my parents?
Yeah.
Right? Like, they were there when I was born. They know how old I am, right?
Yeah,
So,
and
but,
it's 18. Like,
yeah.
none of us look 18.
No, by no means, right? So, but, yeah. Where was I going with that story? Oh, I was going to say, because Alex introduced you as, or either Alex introduced it or you said something about being from the States. Actually, I think you made like an observational point about Canada being American, something like that. And then there's one or two things where like I thought I detected an accent, so I wasn't sure where you were from exactly. So,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think sometimes I can get by with seeming Canadian, and sometimes it's like it's obvious that I'm not raised here, but
yeah. We say our vowels very funny, so that's the like, this guy is different.
yeah, you pronounce your O's more than we do.
Oh yeah, as I just did right there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't we kind of we're like in Michigan we're pretty nasally, like the West Michigan accent. So this guy he has a he has a car commercial. His name's John Flickema, and this is like what it sounds like. John Flickema here, Van Andel Flickema. Why don't you come on in? Trade your old clunker in for a nicer, newer car. So it's like that.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And that is exactly like a Midwestern accent for sure. Or at least someone, what you think of, right?
There's some Vanity Fair or video on YouTube where they go through every state and every like individual city, and they do their accents.
Oh,
It's pretty
cool.
eye-opening.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So I grew up, like when I was young, I had a speech impediment. I couldn't pronounce my R's, so I was always jealous of people from Boston. I was like, shit, like that's not a speech impediment over there. That's just how they talk. So I felt bad growing up in the Midwest.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Yeah. Shit, eh?
I don't know if you've heard, but
I know
they sound pretty silly.
Yeah.
Bostonian
Boston accents? Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of comparisons with Boston and Quebec for some reason. I don't know why, but I've seen that comparison because I've seen
Maybe in
comparison.
the harshness? I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if the Quebecois are rude, but I think Boston.
They get the stereotype.
They can be seen as rude, I guess. I don't know.
Where like Calgary is definitely like Dallas. Just because it's like a conservative area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Alberta
dudes
is
wear cowboy boots with their suits and shit.
exactly
Yeah.
like Alberta is Texas.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
the Canadian
For sure.
Texas.
Yeah.
And Edmonton is like Austin, the little like liberal bastion in a red, or in Canada, blue.
Yeah, the
province.
colors are different too, which is
yeah. Vancouver's kind of like Seattle, maybe.
Definitely.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
Or like San Fran.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
A little bit of
Toronto's
all of the
obviously
above.
more like New York. Or,
Yeah. I like Toronto, man.
Yeah.
I've performed there.
Oh,
The
cool,
rooms
sick.
weren't as good. There was one that was good, and then like I did a couple of weed rooms, which is a thing that's I don't want to say uniquely Canadian, but like it's legal nationwide. So I guess you can say that weed rooms are
more of a Canadian thing.
yeah. And the secret show, the one that we have in Edmonton on Thursdays at the Orange Strathcona Hall, that one's amazing because people are there to watch and everyone's just stoned to shit, right?
Nice and quiet.
Where these, like in Toronto, they're just stoned to shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, the laughter's not there. You're kind of just telling your bits to silence. It's kind of
Really?
weird. Yeah, because people are
Interesting.
just like dabbed out for hours once you go there.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'd be a really good audience.
Yeah.
We went to a fucking restaurant on Saturday and did edibles before we went to the.
He did edibles before. So.
Sure, I did edibles.
And some of our other friends, but yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Have you ever done edibles?
I have. I don't react poorly to them. Like
Really?
I've had pretty good times. Like sometimes I've gotten too high off edibles, but for the most part, it's fine.
Yeah.
I've had some friends that have tweaked the fuck out though.
I got hit by a Mack truck when it happened, man. I was just like, I was a little bit anxious when I first started, and then I was like, nah, I'll go for the ride. We'll see how it goes. But
yeah, I'm always very careful with it. I feel like smoking, I've gotten a lot more fucked up just smoking weed than just doing edibles.
Really?
Yeah, just because I think I'm really careful with edibles, just because I understand like it's a lot more volatile.
Dip your toes
shit
in the
can
water
pop off pretty quick.
yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
So what? How does it work with the CFL being in Canada? Like,
Yo, the CFL has never drug tested for weed.
Really?
Never.
Shit.
never, like even before.
To the best of my knowledge, never have.
Really?
And so yeah, when they had legalized it, it was the same thing. So my coaches were back in the day probably smoking, probably doing a lot worse things. So we don't get drug tested for recreational drugs. It's only like opioids, performance enhancers, and like Adderall, stuff like that, prescription drugs.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, like recreational stuff, like weed and psychedelics, bro, and like cocaine and stuff. Like I don't think we get tested for it.
Really?
Shit, really? Interesting. Yeah.
When
I'm always curious about kind of how the weed thing affects either professional or even like Canadian collegiate sports and stuff.
It's just, to me, it's a no-brainer to have it legalized, especially for a contact sport like
I was
football.
about to say,
we put our bodies through so much shit that you honestly think a joint after a day of practice is really
that's what's gonna do you in, right?
Yeah,
like that,
or is that going to
affect
give
you that
me
much, or
an unfair advantage, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Or lead me down a wrong path. Like, no, it's just not true.
Absolutely.
Some of the players with the most tolerance I've ever met are football players, actually. Yeah.
They allow you to do like cough, or not cough medicine, but like cold medication. Are you allowed to do that?
It's the same thing. Like if you have a prescription, you can take it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when we're the collegiate hockey team in McEwen, they had a list of banned substances, and it was like Dayquil.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah. So U Sports is different. They do test for weed.
Huh.
Yeah. No, I knew that actually for U Sports. So yeah.
The CFL, nope.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Interesting.
I feel like more and more states are legalizing though.
It is, yeah. So Michigan, it's been legalized since November 2018.
Okay, yeah.
And they just actually got recreational dispensaries. So before that, like my mom has her med card, right? So she's been able to get it since like 2014 or something.
Okay.
Or I think that's when she started doing it. I think it was available before, but now everybody above 21 can go to a recreational spot and get weed, concentrates, edibles. I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they sell edibles. So yeah.
What other states is it legal in? Washington, Colorado.
Washington,
there's a lot.
I'd say like at least a quarter of the states.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been just kind of continual, like
Alaska, Michigan,
California,
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. But it's different levels of like it's been decriminalized in most states, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then some legalize, and then some like let you have the recreational, which is more or less what Canada has. So it's kind of like differing stages.
Yeah, there's a whole different array of like whether it's medically legal, whether it's decriminalized, whether it's fully recreational legal.
Yeah.
I think some states it still might just be still illegal.
Yeah. Texas, I'm pretty sure it's still like very illegal. Like too illegal.
It's just crazy that people still are getting in trouble for that.
Oh yeah.
Hypothetically, it just kind of makes no sense.
Is there a reason that it's not federally regulated, or?
It has to do with the fact. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's because the United States is like a confederal system. So essentially, the states have like each individual state has a lot more power than provinces comparatively.
Yeah, so back to high school civics class.
Yeah.
I think so. There's obviously the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and I think the 10th Amendment of the Bill of Rights says that any power that's not like stated in previously is up to the states. So like if it's not federal law, it's like state's law.
Yeah.
But federally, I think they just changed it, but it was a Schedule 1 drug for the longest of time.
Right.
And cocaine was Schedule 2. So theoretically, cocaine was worse than marijuana. I think there's like a lot of drugs that like legally were worse than marijuana until very recently. So
right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was the question that you asked about Canada? Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How does that work? Like,
so it's more in 2020, like it doesn't mean as much. It's just more so technically being part of like the British monarchy and dominion or whatever. Like we kind of acknowledge the Queen's leadership, and then also the biggest impact would be more in the legal systems. So we're like an English common law country, so like if you know how common law works, it works on precedent. You look at precedent in the Canadian courts, they'll look at what English courts did because the legal systems are kind of the same, like they go off of each other or whatever. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
It's common law, and then what's the other law? Is it
civil?
Civil law? And
Civil.
that's more like statutes, right?
Yes.
Because I think in the U.S. we have common law.
Designated agency.
But American common law is a little different. Or ours is different in how much we're linked to Britain, more or less. And then technically the Queen is still like a partial kind of leader sort of thing. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it doesn't affect things as much. It just more so has to do with the American Revolution, how they are specifically not part of the Commonwealth. So,
I think it's so funny. Things that I think it's hilarious that people are very, very interested in is horoscopes and the royal family. Like,
is horoscopes a Canadian thing? Or
no, I'm just saying like in
that,
general, because there's Americans that are super into the royal family. I'm like,
really?
Why would you care about these people?
Oh man,
no offense to
I'm in total agreement.
I fully agree. It makes no sense, like, because they're still technically somewhat leaders of state, more so in the UK.
Yeah,
but why does some family just have ridiculous influence and all this money that obviously doesn't affect us, but if I was a British person, I'd be pissed that my taxes were paying for these people to do all this shit, right? So.
And I think it was so funny when Harry and Meghan Markle left the royal family, and he said he's working towards financial independence. I'm like, okay, this should be like a feel-good moment for everyone who's struggling, like living poor. You're more financially dependent than the fucking Sussex or Prince of Sussex. I don't know. Yeah. So I think that's kind of ridiculous that that's still a thing. But you know what?
Is what it is. Yeah. There's some people super obsessed, and there's all kinds of like collectibles and shit. Or like there's I remember this was years ago on the Colbert Report, he had like a British guy on who like was telling you how to have like proper high tea or whatever and shit, and like it's so ridiculous.
I think their child's gonna end up looking like Blake Griffin. If I had to take a guess.
Did you see the thing that was like I saw a meme the other day, and that was like Meghan Markle should avoid French tunnels.
Which isn't a bad thing. Like he's a professional athlete. He's a comedian now too.
Yeah. Oh shit, really?
Yeah, he was on a roast.
Decent looking dude, but yeah.
But she should avoid French tunnels, like Princess Diana, because there's controversy that she was like killed because she died. Are you familiar with this?
She flew through a windshield. No.
Well, she died in a car accident, but it was conveniently in like an underground, like a highway, and there was an underground portion, and she died in that underground portion, so you wouldn't see any, like, because there was a helicopter camera following.
Yeah.
She conveniently dies in a tunnel where no one can see what exactly happened. So naturally, the conspiracy theorists are gonna jump on that one, right? So
yeah, she was one of the cooler. She was a cool one, right?
People
loved her.
People liked her, and she was same as Meghan Markle, where she was kind of like a commoner, right? She was just like a relatively normal person, right?
Yeah, no, for as much as I enjoy shitting on the royal family, I'm a huge fan of Meghan Markle. Or Markle.
I think it's Markle. I don't know.
Suits.
I never watched that show.
Suits, yeah.
Good show, but I've only seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, and like I saw this video that I thought was super cool. She was getting interviewed, and she called out a woman in the audience who was like, "Hey, you're one of my Twitter followers. I actually wrote you a note and delivered her a note." I was like, oh, that's pretty cool for a person of platform, even though I think your platform's bullshit. But at the same time, it's like, if it inspired that person, then fuck, that's cool.
Why not, right? So,
even though she was an actress, so I guess I shouldn't say it's entirely bullshit. Like, she's a talented person.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she was, because if I'm not mistaken, like, Princess Diana was just like some chick, more or less, versus
That was like 90.
something.
4 or
Long time
5?
ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
When we were born, sort of thing. But
I do
anyways.
remember it.
Oh, do you?
Kind of. It's like one of those like earliest memory things. You know,
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I'm talking about? Where you have like those like really early memories.
Yeah, I have a few of them. Most of those early memories have gotten beat out of my head playing football. So football's not the best thing for long-term memory. I feel like I just
Fair.
don't remember my childhood.
Fair statement.
Shit.
Like, how can you
True,
have childhood trauma when you don't remember it? You know?
I guess, right?
I'm kidding.
Did you start like pretty young playing? Like, I'm assuming like
I started at 3rd grade, so
okay.
decently young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a pretty good youth football player. Once I kind of was a late bloomer though, so I guess I was a little discouraged playing in middle school, and then I
Okay.
took my 8th grade year off. And I was like, you know what? Maybe like a non-contact sport would be more my speed. But played it in 9th grade, and then 10th grade I got really good. Well, I was pretty good in 9th grade, but 10th grade I got really good, and from there I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna pay for college with this. So
Nice.
just pursued it from there.
What do you think about what's coming to light with all the head injuries and stuff?
I'm not surprised at all, man.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, I think it's a good thing that it's coming to light. But it's also like playing that sport. You gotta understand that that's a
the
possibility.
risk, I guess,
you
right?
know?
Yeah.
So
Like, I've had one documented concussion, but I've probably had 2 to 3 non-documented. You know.
yeah.
So I guess I don't try to think about it too much. Maybe I do stand up to keep myself sharp.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start doing puzzles or Sudoku or some shit.
There you go. There you go.
I think
But-
stand-up's pretty good.
Yeah.
Consuming more
exercise.
fish oils.
Yeah, exactly. And in college, man. So after I left the Air Force Academy, I walked on at GV, so I was trying to earn a scholarship. So I had a 1 year where I walked on, and then in spring ball, so spring practice, you know, I was just wrecking my body just to get a scholarship, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I was a bruiser in college, and I had zero care for my body while playing. And professionally, I learned that you need to respect your body. Like, you need to know how to
Right.
play if you want to play for a while.
Right.
Because the headbangers, they come and go, but like the people that play smart and know how to play the game
how to
properly
play.
with good technique, those are the guys that make a long career out of it.
Sure. Longevity.
There's a lot of times that like you see a situation coming on the field and you gotta understand, like, I just gotta throw myself in here. But at the same time, there's a lot of other situations where you learn how to tackle properly, how to approach a block without getting injured.
Yeah.
And without just being careless.
Absolutely.
What'd you take in college?
Business management.
Same, bro.
Yeah. Yo, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yep.
So I was just like, fuck, let's just get like the most generic degree that
Yeah.
could probably get me a job.
Yeah.
That's what I approached.
Is that a
definitely.
BCom, Bachelor of Commerce, or?
It's a Bachelor of Business Administration.
'Kay.
That's what we called it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, I think that's one of my regrets. I was really interested in political science, and I started getting a minor. I
Okay.
never finished it. I could probably finish the minor with no trouble, but it would have been cool to study something I was interested in. I'm not a very entrepreneurial guy, but yeah, I just thought it was the safe route to go, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So.
For sure. Probably a good degree. Like, I know
Yeah.
lots of student athletes who take like whatever just because they want to play the sport, and they take kind of whatever the like an arts degree or something that maybe won't pay off down the road, right? So.
Yeah, so a lot of athletes took communications and degrees like that.
Yeah.
Like sports management. It's not the most difficult degrees, but
Yeah.
hey, we weren't there to play school, you know.
I guess. Yeah. True.
In the
very
words
true.
of Jameis Winston, I think. I could be wrong. It might be somebody different. It's an Ohio State quarterback.
Okay. Yeah.
That said that.
We're not here to play school.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which I think is hilarious, personally.
yeah, that's pretty funny. But I mean, he's not totally wrong, right? So.
Yeah, not at that level. At D2, the level I played, you should probably play school a bit.
Yeah, a little bit,
because
right?
there's not a good chance you're going to the league. So
So, like for a D2, would you guys still have pretty big attendance at your games and stuff?
So we
or?
actually had the biggest attendance amongst D2. That was like the
damn,
one
okay.
reason that I transferred there was that it was a
How
very
big of a school was it? Like what was that?
25,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so a decent population. And
the
then
attendance was probably like what?
probably like 17 to 18,000 usually.
Shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, really? That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
and it was a really cool stadium. It was probably like one of the bigger events to go to in West Michigan.
Yeah, for sure. And
so, yeah.
is that in Grand Rapids, that school?
So
or?
it's in Allendale.
Okay.
It's a city like 25 minutes west of Grand Rapids. So we'd have a campus in Grand Rapids and Allendale. So we'd just take a bus and stuff, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
Damn. So, I mean, in theory, you've played in front of bigger crowds at the Eskimos, though, right?
Yeah.
On a good attendance.
Yeah,
rate,
so
right?
the biggest that I probably played in front of was at Air Force.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Played like the Army Navy games were really big.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame game, we played Notre Dame at home, and that was wild because those fans travel so well.
Shit. How many would that be? Like 80,000 or?
No, I mean the stadium only held 52,
Oh,
so
okay.
it was probably around 52.
Damn.
The loudest stadium I've ever played in was in Regina.
Oh,
the
really?
Riders.
Those fans are.
It wasn't even. It wasn't full, but we threw a pick six at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah?
And that
Oh,
was
shit.
so loud,
Yeah.
man.
They well, speaking of fans that travel far, a lot of Saskatchewan fans come here to watch games, as you've probably noticed, right?
Yeah.
So,
it seems like every other CFL fan is a Riders fan.
oh yeah.
So yeah.
Shit. Yeah. So I mean, I guess you've been doing it for a young age, from a relatively young age, and done it before. But do you still do you notice that there's so many people watching, or do you just tune it out?
I kind of like, I'm aware of it, and
Mhm.
it gives me jitters and stuff. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I tune it out.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, I'm unaware of like how much of a platform I might have. Obviously, like in the States, if I was in the NFL, I'd probably be more aware of it. But there's still a really good amount of CFL fans
Definitely.
in Edmonton and stuff.
Oh
and,
yeah.
yeah, being around the community is cool.
Mhm.
Do like appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but sometimes I guess I don't really think of myself as a professional athlete just because, I don't know, it's just I'm still young to it, I
Right.
guess.
For sure. Well, I mean, and at the end of the day, you're playing football. You're doing your thing, right? Like you're
Yeah,
used to it, right? So
yeah.
in a way, does that make any sense? But,
Yeah. I'm used to just going to practice, working, and then the game's kind of the time to have
you're there
fun.
to do your job as
Yeah.
well, right? So
Yeah, and I guess I mean professionally, obviously it is a job, so you look at it more so as a job.
Mhm.
But I mean football's football, so yeah. It's
What was your bench press numbers at the combine?
dude, I'm not strong.
I'm asking the real question.
yeah,
I think I put up 18 reps.
That's pretty fucking good, man.
It's not great, but it's not bad, I guess.
That's not bad, for sure.
I'm not telling you my 40 time. That shit is embarrassing. I'm pretty much as slow as you can be and play the position I am. But I think my
Nice.
my technique lets me get away with it though.
gotcha. Nice.
So do you guys still go to the
Finesse player.
NFL from Div 2?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
actually,
still possible for
yeah.
sure?
So my buddy that I played with, Matt Judon, is I think he's an all-pro defensive end for
Jesus.
I think he was second team all-pro for the Ravens. So
Sick.
yeah,
Good for him.
And then
Yeah.
Brandon Carr, also a cornerback, is a cornerback for the Ravens and stuff. One of my really close buddies I played tight end with. He's on the practice roster for the Chiefs actually.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's still a decent amount of D2 guys.
Mhm.
Thing is, there's so much talent in the States
Oh, yeah.
in terms of football, like,
Yeah.
and there's only so many spots to go D1, and everyone develops in a different rate. So that's why D2 you have a good amount of guys that end up in the league.
Mhm. I was going to ask
Gotcha.
because I just know the hockey side of things, where about like 1% of guys that play NCAA, they make the show,
Yeah.
and about 1% that do the junior route make the show. So
Yeah.
what are the numbers going from like a Div 1 school?
I think it's around I think it's more than 1%, I would say.
Yeah.
But I think it's around 1% because it's the same thing like high school athletes that end up playing D1s around 1%.
Yeah.
And then college athletes going pro.
Just how many people there are, and then how many schools and good good teams. And then
I mean, there's
best,
100. Right? There's 120, I think, Division I schools, and then there's 30. 32 teams in the NFL?
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. They might be less.
32.
Sounds
about right.
Yeah, it sounds right enough. And there's only probably 10 to 15 rookies that make a team, So, it's definitely a lot of competition. But, I mean, the best players usually end up playing. So, whether that be from D1 or Div 2. So,
cool, good stuff. One question, did you watch Remember the Titans a lot growing up?
Yeah. That's just a good fucking movie.
Good movie. Good all around
movie.
There's
football, there's race relations, there's like lessons to be learned.
Making friends.
Making friends, there's adversity.
Yeah.
Good music.
Very good music.
Lots of there's young actors before they were crazy famous.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Like, you're not going to have a bad movie with him involved.
Yeah. So true, we've just talked about it a lot on the show because, like, we went to Catholic school growing up, and lots of our friends and guests and shit have. And one thing that we always say is, like, religion class, like, if you had a substitute teacher, you were watching Remember the Titans. Like, so I've seen, like, chunks of that movie, like, hundreds and hundreds of times through my childhood because it would just be the sub would show up and be like, all right, press play.
Absolutely. I actually worked as a substitute teacher in the States. Yeah.
How?
It's a lot easier to be a sub in the States as opposed to Canada.
Wow.
Yes. You need like 90 credits and not to be a murderer.
You don't need like an education degree or anything? Or
No, you need 90 credits. Yeah. I have a business degree. Yeah. To be a substitute teacher, that's wild, hey?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
You just like put your name in.
Pretty much. You have to do some modules, get your fingerprints taken, and then you're good.
Like elementary, junior high.
Anything. I subbed all across, man, from like pre-K to fucking seniors.
Wow. No, that's just I had no idea that was possible. I didn't know that's how it worked.
Foolishly, I was like, maybe I could like substitute teach in Canada in the off season. No, I am not nearly qualified enough.
Yeah, damn. Wow. Jesus, this has blown my mind. I had no idea.
And because we get compensated as shit. Like, I had the best job. All right, I shouldn't say that. I had the best paying job for a substitute. It was like $100 an hour in Michigan.
Okay, yeah.
Or I just said hour. I meant 100 a day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in Canada, I think it's like $240 a day usually.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better, but obviously it's because you have
throw that conversion in there.
Yeah, that's
narrows
true.
the gap a little, but interesting. What was that good? Did you like it? Like
I got sick of it though. As you might imagine,
I suppose,
being a substitute teacher. I used to have a lot of fun with it because I was doing stand-up and substitute teaching. I started because I had to take a semester off because of eligibility reasons.
For like redshirting or something like that?
Yeah, because I redshirted twice the whole 4 years into sixth thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, I had to take a semester off of class, so I substitute taught and focus on stand-up and stuff, and I was saving up to actually study abroad, and at first it was really cool. I liked connecting with the kids and stuff, and then I just got so sick of it and was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? So at that point it was a disservice to me and the students, so I decided that it was enough.
Wow. Huh. I'm
actually in awe right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm very taken aback. I had no idea that's how it worked. But
title of this episode is going to be Substitute Teacher.
Yeah. Well, we're almost at an hour 45 here, man. So shall we call it a show?
Yeah, let you get to your show.
Oh, yeah, man.
On White House.
Awesome. Do you want to plug yourself? Where can people find you?
Yeah.
On the internet and all that?
Yeah, so my Instagram tag is at Pete Cender.
That's Cender with a C. We'll put a link.
Yep. And same thing with Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Peter Cender. I don't know when this is coming out, but
a week and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you have regular spots for your comedy, or?
Yeah, so you'll be able to find me usually at O'Byrne's on Monday, the Strip on Tuesdays occasionally. If not the Strip, then McEwen Towers. 7 o'clock for both of those. 9 o'clock for O'Byrne's. On Wednesday, I'm at the Station at 7 o'clock, and then
Nice.
Grindstone at 10.
It's an awesome show. Station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Good show.
Alex hosts that. It was a good time. Thursday, either Mercer, that's a monthly show, or the Secret Show, which is at 10 at Orange Strathcona Hall, or I can't remember the other ones that I usually go to. Or Friday is Black Bar, and Sunday either Urban Tavern or Empress at 9. I usually
Sick.
Yeah, I'm there usually.
Damn, that's
weekly.
pretty good rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then come summertime, they can catch you at Commonwealth Stadium on
Yeah.
the days the Eskimos play.
Yeah,
or
so
TSN.
starting May, catch me at the stadium. I'll
Sick.
throw you a ticket if you introduce yourself, probably.
Nice.
I'm pretty
Nice.
liberal. Yeah, I usually, if I don't have anyone coming, I'll give my tickets just some randos.
Oh, dope. Awesome.
How many do you get a game?
2.
All
Okay.
right.
And then you can get
Wow.
more if you ask your friends and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good times.
So yeah, if you guys ever want to come through, man, it's a pretty good fun time,
No,
man. You just get
Eskimos games are
shit-faced.
good to go to, and it's nice out, and you're
Yeah.
outdoors, and yeah.
As long as there's not a game in fucking November. Or whatever.
Yeah, we'll come to the summer games. So yeah, awesome, cool. Well, thanks so much for coming. We
Yeah,
appreciate
for
it. It was a good time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers.